Hello and welcome to the preview of the Manchester United and Arsenal game at Old Trafford in the FA Cup quarter-finals. I've got with me Joey to discuss the game. I mean, it's a very difficult looking game for Manchester United. Although we're at Old Trafford, where we've been pretty formidable this season, only one draw at Old Trafford and a couple of defeats so far in the league. So our home form's been pretty decent. We've scored a lot more goals than we've conceded at Old Trafford compared to our away form, which we've almost conceded as many as we've scored. So, I mean, most Manchester United fans that I've seen are pretty confident going into this game, even though Arsenal fans seem to be pretty confident as well. But you never know in a cup tie. It can go either way. I mean, I don't know how you really see it going. I mean, there should be goals in this, really, with the individual brilliances of both teams' players.
It's going to be nuts, you know. I mean, obviously, um, a lot of Manchester United fans are confident because Arsenal come to Old Trafford and don't do well, particularly, at all. In the last 10 at Old Trafford, we've won 9 and drawn 1. That's a good stat, but I was saying, on the United view, these records are meant to be broken. So I hate when people, in the last 10, and they haven't won since this and that, and that's just extra motivation for Arsenal to come here. They've already been to Manchester once and beat City, something we couldn't do. So they'll be confident knowing that they've won a game on the road like this. It's going to be interesting. The big two questions for me going into this fixture are who's going to give up possession and will 3 at the back return. Wouldn't be surprised because with 3 at the back he could fit Blind and Carrick into the same squad and the same starting 11. But I just think that this game it's not going to be enjoyable. It's one of those ones where every little thing you're on the edge of your seat and everything just hyped up even more. It's going to be a game. I personally think there's goals in it because I don't think either side is good defensively. And an early goal by either team will really get this game wide open. I would rather see, a wide open game than a tight, twitchy ass time at the end. And I definitely don't want to go back to their place on a replay. So, they're coming off a win against QPR. We're coming up with a win against Newcastle. Neither team has really performed to the heights that either would want this season. Obviously, these are two teams that dominated the early 2000s and late 90s with some really great games. So I'm hoping Monday will be the exact same thing.
Yeah, do you feel that this game could be quite significant in the rest of the season running? I mean, both teams are virtually neck and neck in the Premier League. I know you'd probably say that Arsenal are probably now slightly favourites ahead of us to get a Champions League spot because they seem to beat the lesser teams a bit more comfortably than we do. I mean, we haven't been playing well at all, but we've still been getting the results. So this could be quite a significant blow to one of the teams if one of us wins this game, couldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. This'll, and going back to what you just said, Arsenal, traditionally they beat the lower teams, no problem, home and away. They have maybe a few bogey teams, but they don't do well against the top teams. So if they were to be able to get over that and get some points, they might be able to win a league title, in the near future. But they have this thing hanging over their head. I think it's the manager personally. You see, on Arsenal Fan TV, there's that Wenger in, Wenger out crowd, and a lot of them are right with some of the things they say, that it's been too long since they've won, and it's the manager's naivety. But you're right. This is massive going for the rest of the season. This is a confidence thing. If we could beat Arsenal, knock them out of the FA Cup, and progress to Wembley, it'll give us some confidence going into the rest of the season. Because everybody's worried that one of these games coming up, against Tottenham and Chelsea and Liverpool and all these big games, that we're going to get blown out because we haven't played well. But it seems that I've been saying this for a few months now, that we either play down to the competition or we play up to it. So I'm not worried too much for the rest of the season. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, anything could happen. Liverpool and us could get the spot, and Arsenal could be pipped out. They could get some more injuries or get some bad form. You just don't know. But I think this could be a huge confidence booster if we get the win and go on. But if we were to lose this game, I think it would hurt us a little bit because it's obviously something we really want to win.
Yeah, we haven't won the FA Cup for so long, so it would be a a massive boost if we could win it this year. I mean, looking at Arsenal, I mean, they don't seem to me as though they ever change a lot, really. Season after season, they seem to be similar. I know we've slowly got a bit worse over the last couple of years since Sir Alex Ferguson's left, so the gap has obviously moved a lot closer. As you said, we've won quite a lot of the last recent meetings between the sides, so obviously we're going with some confidence in this game. How do you see us going into this game, lining up? I mean, it's quite difficult to know how we're going to go for this game. Obviously, there's some issues with some of the players. I don't know when Johnny Evans' ban comes in, but
no, he's not. He won't be there.
Yeah, he's now banned, which obviously he's a real idiot, and I hope that he actually gets kicked out of the club because he hasn't been good enough this season, and we need some real quality players in there. I don't know if you feel Raphael or Luke Shaw or any of them are going to come back in, or Fellaini's going to come out, or how do you see it going, really?
Yeah, I just don't want Fellaini to start, and it's nothing. I like him as a plan B. I don't mind if he starts some games, but he cannot start in the 10 role because we will need that position to be filled by somebody like in my team. I put Wayne Rooney in the 10 role because he will do so much work in the midfield. He will track back and he'll cause chaos in there. And I really think they're going to come in with a midfield three of Cazorla. So I really think Rooney has to. I think he'll play 4-2-3-1. And the team I picked was David De Gea, Valencia, Smalling, Rojo, Shaw, Blind, Herrera with the pivot, Rooney as the number 10, Di Maria, Falcao, Young. Now, some people don't want Di Maria to start, but I mean, I said it last night. I said this is a guy that can break out of that slump at any time, and he's world class. It can happen. He could have had 2 assists the last game, but it didn't work out that way. But I think also Falcao should start because their center back Gabriel Paulista, he got hurt the last game. He won't be playing, so you're going to have a back line with Mertesacker in it. And I think the way that Falcao moves, I think he could either create something for himself or drag Mertesacker out of position for the other players to make some damage. But then again, going back to my 2 earlier questions, who's going to give up possession? If we were to come out and give up possession and try and hit them on the break, and he goes with 3 at the back, I made a team with 3 at the back, and it was Smalling, Carrick, Rojo as the back 3 with Carrick in the middle. He played that against somebody, I can't remember. I want Southampton maybe. It was around that time. And then I have as my wing backs, I have Shaw and Valencia, Blind, Herrera as the 2 midfielders, Di Maria as the 10 with Rooney and Falcao up top. And I honestly, I don't hate the back 3 as much as other people, but I wouldn't mind seeing the back 3 for this game. Call me crazy, but I feel that we could, get the wing backs and then Blind, Herrera, Di Maria, Rooney. I think we could overflow the midfield and cause them some damage. But looking at their team, Welbeck, he's going to want to come back and prove something. So I would be worried of him. And I'm really hoping they play Ozil out wide and do us a favor, because when he's out wide, he's crap.
Yeah, as you're saying with Di Maria, I've seen some reports tonight linking in with a move away from Old Trafford, which
I don't even believe into it.
To fund the record bid for Gareth Bale, apparently, which I personally would say is bullshit, because I think we'd give him at least another season to bed in and see how he goes. With these world-class players, usually a lot of teams give them a couple of seasons to see how they do. As you're saying there, Welbeck's obviously going to probably try and cause us problems if he plays. I mean, he hasn't played a lot of games lately. I think Giroud is probably going to cause us some problems. He hasn't always performed very well in the bigger games, but he could definitely cause us some problems. I mean, it's certainly not going to be easy. I mean, as you touched on when they played Manchester City away, I really thought the Manchester City were really poor that day. I know Arsenal did perform pretty well that day. I thought Manchester City were pretty awful. Sergio Aguero wasn't fit, so it didn't really help matters there. So I mean, and a lot of the other big games Arsenal haven't performed well in. Even this season, they haven't performed very well in. They let our lead slip away against Liverpool. They crumbled against Chelsea. So I'm
They gave up that draw against that team in the Champions League in the group stage. Remember they were
yeah.
Anderlecht.
Yeah, they were 3-0 up in that. So, I mean, they're definitely beatable. As we've seen a few weeks ago, they lost to Tottenham, and Tottenham aren't the world's best team. So, I'm going in with some confidence. I don't know how you actually see the game actually going, what sort of scoreline you feel from this game.
Well, I was brave last night on the United View, and I said 4-2, and maybe that's a little, much, because it's either going to be like that 4-2, or it's going to be really, really tight. And I just don't want to see a tight game where neither team wants to make a mistake. I want to see some good football. We're used to seeing some good football out of both these teams, in the rivalry. There's been some wonderful goals. There's been some crazy moments, some pizza. It's been, it's one of my favorite rivalries. I was just earlier, I've been rewatching the games. I was just watching, Pizzagate and the semifinal in '98, and there's just so many good memories, especially for us. But yeah, it's either, I hope it's wide open. I would like, to be entertained rather than heart in my throat, edge of my seat, sweaty palms, nervous as hell, and then, get pissed off. I think I'm going to have a few drinks while I'm watching this game. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see who gives up the possession. There's a lot of storylines in this game. I wanted to ask you, did you see Scholes' comments on Ozil?
No, I haven't actually seen the comments.
Mesut Ozil chose the easy way out by joining Arsenal and, talking about winning trophies and stuff like that, and that joining Arsenal was the easy way out, and pretty much that he wouldn't be challenging for trophies.
All right. Well, often Arsenal haven't challenged for trophies. I mean, it's only the last season where they've won the FA Cup, so I can see that a bit. But obviously the gap between ourselves and Arsenal is sadly closed in because we've got slightly worse over the last couple of years. So, I mean, before when Sir Alex Ferguson was there, this game was almost a formality that we were going to win, and I'm not overly confident. I mean, I think we probably will just about sneak it, being the home team. Probably I'm going to sort of go for a sort of 2-1 victory. I mean, I don't think it's going to be easy. I mean, what we can't really afford is a stupid draw, because going to the Emirates is going to be tough. I mean, especially with our away form. I know we beat them earlier in the season, but that was almost a smash and grab win. I mean, we hadn't had a shot on target when we actually scored, because that was even an own goal. So I don't know how you see some of the players that haven't been getting a regular game lately. I mean, Luke Shaw hasn't been playing lately. I don't know what's up with him. And obviously it looks like, I've read in the papers, that Raphael is now going to leave in the summer, which I'm pretty relieved about, because he can't stay healthy for 5 minutes. I don't know what your thoughts are on both them fullbacks. I mean, Luke Shaw's been tipped to be an England great, which is nice. Much lately.
I gotta grab something real quick, but okay. I'm happy if you can pause the video, can't you?
No, I can't pause the video, but yeah.
I'm happy that Raphael is leaving, because I think we needed to bring her right back in last summer. Like Daryl Janmaat was a good option in my opinion, but the Luke Shaw thing is strange. I think he's resting him for this game, or he's being a naughty boy or something like that. But Raphael, yeah, he can't stay healthy. He's inconsistent when he is healthy, so I won't be upset to see him go.
No, I really don't know what's happened with the Luke Shaw thing there. I mean, it is a real mystery. I mean, he has had a few injury problems this season, which haven't helped. And obviously, Louis van Gaal talked about his fitness problems from when he come from pre-season. So it is a bit of a concern. I mean, the last couple of games I've heard rumours of him being tired, so I don't know. And then there's other rumours where I've heard that he's got a tight hamstring. So it is a bit of a strange one. And with the Raphael, it looks like he really is on his way. I just don't know what's happened to him, why he hasn't been on the bench. But I believe that he is actually now fit. He has played a couple of reserve team games, so hopefully he may be even able to get a few minutes before the end of the season. I mean, he did have one good, decent season for us not so long ago. So, but obviously he's been here a long while and hasn't played enough Premier League matches over the years. He's had a lot of injuries, and obviously there's the Johnny Evans incident that we've been talking about in the last few days. Is now confirmed. I think that he's got a 6-game ban. I think he's a real idiot, and I think that it was obviously the right decision. I mean, this shouldn't happen in football. The players should know better than to be spitting, and both players were rightly banned. And it looks like Johnny Evans' Manchester United career will be over now. So hopefully we will get the victory in this game against Arsenal. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy match, but hopefully we can pick up the victory and move on to the next round. Obviously, Aston Villa are now in the next round, so hopefully, if we get them, I'd be happy. I mean, even if we do get the difficult tie against the likes of Liverpool, I'll still be happy. I'm confident that we can go on to win it. Are we actually the favourites? I don't know. Probably Liverpool are the favourites at the moment, and just shading it. Anyway, thanks to everyone for watching the video. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below, and we'll be back after the game for match reaction of how the game's gone.